is Hunter.
Welcome back to the fannISh podcast, or if you're new here, welcome to episode 3. In December of 2020, in the clutches of a pandemic while the world wonders if we ever return to normal, or if we were perhaps destined for dystopia, one of the most anticipated video games of the decade finally launched. Cyberpunk 2077 promised a virtual dystopia, a sprawling open world, a bleak and neon-lit vision of the future, and a deeply immersive narrative where every choice mattered. It was marketed as the next generation of role-playing experience that would redefine storytelling and interactive media. Instead, the launch became one of the most infamous in gaming history. Players encountered bugs, crashes, missing features, and performance problems so severe that Sony temporarily removed the games from the PlayStation Store. For weeks, the conversation around Cyberpunk 2077 wasn't about its story or its world, it was about what went wrong. But something interesting happened after that. As patches rolled out and the technical issues slowly improved, people began returning to Night City, and what many players discovered beneath the controversy was something else entirely, a massive, carefully constructed world full of complicated characters, unexpected emotional moments, and stories that remained with them long after they stopped playing. For some players, Cyberpunk 2077 became more than just a game. It became a place where players formed attachments to characters, debated moral choices, and yes, sometimes even developed full-blown crushes on digital NPCs. And that might sound strange at first, but it raises an interesting question. What makes a fictional world feel real enough that people care about it this much? Because Cyberpunk 2077 has plenty of diehard fans, and of course, fan studies is why we are here. So why and how do people love this game? What makes it special to its fans? And how do they behave as a fandom? That question is at the center of today's conversation with a Cyberpunk 2077 fan. In this episode, I'm speaking with Erin Gutschke, a game design student who also works here on our School of IS marketing team as a graphic designer. Erin is a talented artist whose focus is environmental storytelling, the art of building worlds that communicate meaning through architecture, lighting, layout, and atmosphere. The kinds of worlds that don't just look impressive, but actually tell a story the moment you walk into them. And Cyberpunk 2077 is full of those kinds of spaces. So we're going to talk about Night City, about what it takes to bring a world to life, about forming attachments to digital characters. We're also going to step back and look at the industry itself. What does it mean to be a woman entering the field of game design right now? What does the landscape of the industry look like today? And how does that shape the kinds of stories games are able to tell? So today we're diving into a fandom of dystopias and digital crushes, and we're getting a glimpse into the craft of building worlds that players never want to leave. Before we begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe and join us on this channel because we'll interview a new fan and explore a different fandom every month. Please subscribe and you'll be reminded of every episode. We're available on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. With that, welcome to episode 3 of the fannISh podcast, Cyberpunk 2077.
We're here with Erin Gutschke. And as I sit here, I've played Cyberpunk for like a total of 30 minutes. But I am excited to play some more before this episode comes out, though. But I'm not a gamer. You know this about me. So while we talk today, you're going to be the gamer, the expert. I am just picking your brain. Okay. I want to ask you, as an avid player of this game, what was your first impression when you stepped into Night City for the first time? And not just as a player, but also as a designer in training.
It was breathtaking, I guess. The city that you play in is just so expansive. There's so much to explore, but it's also a cesspool of corruption and, you know, exploitation and all this. So it's like a mix of beauty and danger, and there's always something to do or something to look for. And I know one of the things I like to do is just turn on one of the radio stations in the game and just drive around and just vibe. If it's raining, if, you know, whatever in the game, it just, I don't know, there's something about it that just, you know, makes me want to explore rather than just fast travel everywhere. I like to take my time, you know, with it.
I feel like people who are younger than me, which is most people on the planet now, don't really realize how different maybe or how much like video games have evolved to where you can do that, to where there's so much space to explore, and where like someone had to explain to me what open world was, and I was like, what do you mean?
This game is very open world.
Yeah. Is it? Okay.
Yeah. It's just one city, but there's several districts. There's a whole like the Badlands outside of it that you can explore, which is just has so much more to it. So there's stuff up north. The DLC added some extra little locations as well, like a whole new district and all that. So
Wouldn't Fortnite and GTA be considered open world, right?
GTA, yeah.
Okay.
Fortnite is, I don't think it's,
Open world?
I don't think so. It's more, it's like a more on the more competitive side.
Just like the evolution of gaming. So when I grew up, when video games were new, right? It was Mario Brothers, bro. You could go in one two-dimensional direction, and you couldn't. It was like there was like a timer. Like you literally just had to keep like going that way. And the idea of being able to turn around and look around was like we all would have lost our minds. And now like you guys just take it for granted. It's crazy. But so was there a specific district or environment in this game that made you stop and think, I want to build worlds like this?
Probably they're so different from each other. I actually, in my game studies class last semester, my final analysis paper, I wrote about the environments and the different districts. And they're just so different. I think probably the one that really sticks out to me is probably the newest one from the DLC. It's called Dogtown. It is like the most derelict, but also, it has all these fancy buildings, and then you turn around and there's a bunch of homeless people on the side. It added a whole bunch of new like quests, and the locations that go with them are very like jarring. Like there's a rundown museum. There was a basically a warehouse where they were augmenting.
So you are focused on environment design.
Yes.
So, like this is what you want to do. So you're an artist. Tell me a little about your background as an artist. What made you decide to go into this, and what made you specifically want to design worlds?
I've been drawing my entire life. I distinctly remember every like Sunday service at church, I would draw a little like booklet about just a random animal, and that was something that like I keep remembering when people ask, "Oh, how long have you drawn?" Those are like one of the earliest memories I have. I was always like the artsy kid in middle school and high school. People would want me on their group projects just to do the art stuff, that kind of thing.
Just like us.
just like here. And then when I moved out after high school and started at South Plains College, I did graphic design stuff there. But I always knew I wanted to do something video game wise. I just hadn't seen the animation and games program at UTD yet. So I just did graphic design. And then once I graduated, I was not able to find a job. So I did some more research and then saw UT Dallas had the A-Tech program here. It was just it wasn't its own program. It was it was a concentration.
Yeah.
And then, transferred here, took all of the fundamental classes, did basically every part of the pipeline of production of a video game. And I really honed in on the environment design because there's just so much storytelling you can do through an environment, so much like attention to detail that you can put in that. And then, it's up to the players to find those things. But I always say I like to storytell through my work, whether, personal or the graphic design stuff. So I think that's why I like environment design so much, because there's just so much you can find if you're willing to explore beyond what's required to finish the game.
So how do you think Cyberpunk uses the space, like the environment, to tell the story? Like what story is it telling?
It tells a very sad story that no one in Night City gets a good ending. And
So dark.
it's very dark. It's a very brutal game, a very brutal storyline. And one of the major things in Night City is the advertisements. Yes. They are plastered everywhere. They are, all over neon signs, all over holographic, advertisements. And a lot of it is like very raunchy, inappropriate products and things. And it's just in your face and it beats you down. And it's not like the main focus of the game, but having that kind of like storytelling kind of shows you that Night City is a very not good city to be in, despite promising, fame and grandeur. It's not a really good place.
It feels, just from the few minutes that I spent walking around, it reminds me, because I'm old, of the film Blade Runner a lot.
Yes.
It reminds me of Total Recall. So how do you think that it gets that, what design techniques make this city feel, I guess, real, believable, instead of just like backdrop, like cool looking backdrop?
I guess it's like the how it's kind of just built on top of itself. There's so many mega buildings and everything's just kind of clustered together. It's very compact, and also the like stark difference between the I forgot the
The
name.
cities? Or
The
the gangs?
So like I'm thinking of the district, the main district, like the most expensive one that houses all the mega corporations. It has the tallest buildings. It's the most clean, and then everywhere else has the more rundown warehouses, apartments, restaurants, back alleys filled with trash. It's just like it's such a huge conglomerate of good and bad, like elements. Yeah.
So you know what I love is like, this is in Blade Runner. This is like a few movies that do like dystopia or like the future really well. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, everything set in the future, everything was like shiny and new. Mm-hmm. It's like the future, everything is clean and shiny and new, like the first Back to the Future. And what I saw for the first time in like the second Back to the Future, I saw it in Blade Runner, was the future where everything is advanced, but it also looks kind of shitty. Like it's old. Eventually the new stuff is also going to get old. And I love that aesthetic.
Yeah.
And it has that believable, like lived in look.
Cyberpunk 2077 definitely has
Yes.
that. I actually just remembered there is a location right outside the city, and it's just like a mountain of trash piles, junk cars, like everything. And at one point in the main storyline, you actually, spoiler alert, you get shot point blank in the face, and you basically revive through
Technology.
yeah,
like,
through a biochip that you had inserted into your head, and you wake up in like that trash heap, the landfill. It's a very like jarring moment, and it's
I noticed a couple of things like with the environment. Did you notice with each of the gangs it matched whatever it was?
Yes.
I can't remember each one, but like the gang where it was nothing but they're all modified, and then they look more motorcycle like.
Oh, the Maelstrom.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Maelstrom, they are in the Watson district. That district has like the most warehouses. It's kind of where like the trading through the sea happens, and so they're the most like cyberware crazy of all the gangs.
Do you want to comment on each one of the gangs?
Yeah. So I will actually pull them up in the art book so I don't forget. So the Valentinos are one of the other ones.
Once you show a page, also.
Yes, I can do that. Okay, gangs, the bad and the ugly. So here is.
It's the future because they got rid of the vowels.
Oh.
Right? Vowels are from the past.
So this is Maelstrom. Is this?
Those are legitimately scary.
They are the craziest. There's actually a gig. There's a side gig where you need to take out a cyber psycho, and it's like you come into this scene where there was some kind of cult ritual, and a like ice bathtub in the middle, and all of these dead bodies and limbs and blood everywhere, and then one of these Maelstrom members like climbs out of the tub and is like a total horror show. It's crazy.
Is it based on like? Is there a story of like this happened, and it created this future, and like it's based on a certain city that exists now in the future, or it's like totally separate from our world?
It's totally separate.
Interesting.
The Night City has gone through, they call them corporate wars. Corporate wars. It's when all the megacorps in the story basically start wars against each other. And Night City had gone through at least one of them, I believe, probably more, based off of the TTRPG. So that it's gone through a lot and had to rebuild itself.
Wow, that sounds totally far-fetched and not at all possible.
These are the animals. So these are like the boxers, the heavy hitters. They do like grunt work for other people. They are on steroids times 10, basically. You have to fight one of them, and her name is Sasquatch, and she has this giant hammer. Whoop.
I also noticed each one of the gangs itself kind of represents its own, I guess, minority group within capitalism.
Yeah.
I guess you can say, and how each group would probably survive if it was in this world, and you have to like kill and fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the animals are in the Pacifica district, along with the Voodoo Boys. These ones, they're known for their net running, their hacking. You have to deal with them for a main quest, and it's not very fun.
Oh, dang, they gotta hide.
And they actually got a little bit more attention in the DLC when Dogtown was added. You run into a couple more characters from this gang, so they got a little bit more like attention and love.
These are like based on real voodoo symbols too.
So,
And what district are they in?
this is in Pacifica, and a
Pacifica.
little bit of Dogtown, but mostly Pacifica.
Okay.
So,
So does it scale to like a real city in size, kind of? Like as you're driving through it? Is it like driving through? Like, is there like a map where you know like how many square miles?
yeah, there probably is. I know there's a map in here. I can look for it. Next up is the
Oh, yeah.
6th Street. These are the war vets and
I know
the
them. I know these dudes.
they what district were they in? They were in Santo Domingo. Yes. They don't actually have as many run-ins with these ones, but they still pop up in some side gigs and things like that. So there actually is one fun quest where they're having like a party, and you can join a little like shooting game to win a better weapon, but you have to take a shot before each round, and the target is the head of the like mayor of Night City.
Dang.
So, yeah. And then here are the Mocs. This is one of the smaller gangs in the city. They actually are very chill with you because you help one of their members several times.
Yeah, I approve.
And they
Yeah.
they basically are like protectors for the working girls. The dolls. They're called dolls in Night City.
We love
Yes.
this.
So they
We're in favor of this.
they,
Yes, finger
they help with
snap.
protection. They help make sure that
Protect the dolls.
protect
Yeah.
the dolls. And then their rivals are the Tiger Claws, which are in the same district as well. So these are kind of based off of, I would assume, the Yakuza? Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They are not a fun bunch.
They're more genetically modified as well, right?
I mean, they all are modified in some,
some
shape
point.
or way. Some are just more than others. Like, for the Mocs, it was more cosmetic. For the animals, it was more like
Enhancing, yeah.
like muscle enhancement and things like that. And then the Valentinos, the ones I mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah, they look like the Chicanos.
Yeah. So,
Love their aesthetic.
oh, and then the scavs. So these are like the guys, these are the people who either kidnap actual people or just take dead bodies and take the cyberware and like resell it. So they're,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Grim Reapers, if you may
Yeah,
say.
they're called scavs in the game. They're also Russian.
Okay.
So- and then
So there's a lot going on with like race, ethnicity,
Yeah.
and nationality.
Oh, and then
when it comes to these
the
games.
race in the Badlands. Those are like the nomad gang in the game. So nomads are people in night, or not just Night City, but in the world that, as the name suggests, are nomadic. They drive basically and just do odd jobs wherever they can. So the gang, the nomad gang in the game is probably one of the gnarliest. They have some pretty heavy gigs you have to deal with.
Do you ever feel like when you come out of playing the game, like you're walking around in a game? Do you ever get that feeling? Because it's like urban planning for an imaginary city in an imaginary future, right? When you're designing a game. And I wonder how that changes the way you walk around in real spaces. Are you ever like, I would design this differently?
Yeah,
Are you
sometimes.
ever like at UT Dallas, like, oh, this would be we could play this game in this environment. I'm just curious if it shapes the way you walk around and see stuff.
I mean, yeah. I guess I sometimes think how something in real life could be implemented into a game. There's a funny joke. It's not a joke, but in a lot of games, whenever it needs you to go somewhere, it uses some kind of yellow object. So like yellow tape, like a yellow ladder, like things like that. And I guess I think of that sometimes too.
So the contrast just like draws your attention.
Yeah,
to it.
the right contrast catches your eye, especially in like darker environments. It's a very common thing in the Resident Evil games as well. So,
Oh, the red.
no, the yellow, like using the yellow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Even I will sometimes be like, that looks like a side quest. And I'm not even a game player, but I'm like,
Oh, I think about stuff in liminal spaces, like the back rooms.
oh yeah.
Mm.
My 7-year-old was like, this is back rooms. The other day we were somewhere. I don't know.
My apartment building, if you go deeper into it, looks like the back rooms. Thankfully, my apartment is like on the corner of the building. We don't have to go very far in, but the farther in you go,
Have you played that video game?
I haven't played it, but I watched a lot of like gameplay
It's
of
insane.
the several various games based off of it. Yeah.
That one's all environment. That's
Yes.
crazy. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but isn't Cyberpunk known for having a very sophisticated, I don't know if sophisticated is the right word, but like advanced or very freaking awesome, like character building? Like when you build your own character, right? Isn't it kind of known for this because you can do all these modifications and everything?
Yeah. Are you talking about like just cosmetic, but also like leveling up?
All of it.
All of
kind
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So in the game, after they patched everything and redid everything, the like skill tree and leveling up and cosmetics for your character were like greatly improved. You have like the cyberware you can add to your face. The whole character customization, and then the actual cyberware augmentation that helps with like fighting. There's what are they called? Gorilla knuckles, mantis blades, monowires, and rocket launchers that you can add into your hands. The skill tree is like so like varied. You can do a net runner, you could do just guns, just pistols, or shotguns, or just fight with a katana the entire time. It's very like you can do whatever you want basically. I usually just do a net runner because I like to hide and take enemies out from afar. But you can do anything really.
So I want to talk a little bit about the reality of making a game this big and all of the like. Not all of, but some of the things that went wrong, right? So, like, very ambitious development cycle, one of the more or most in recent history. So, as a soon-to-be game developer, what do you think about when you look at a project of that scale? Like, what are your thoughts about this? You're like, that was dumb? That's intimidating? Like, how do you feel about it?
It's intimidating.
Yeah.
And also the longer that the game went on, the higher the expectations were from, the fans. And that kind of played into them rushing to get it out, which then caused a crunch and the, no time to actually fix all the problems. I can't imagine working on a game that size yet. It does sound very daunting. And it from what I had researched, it felt like the hype that came from Witcher 3 Witcher 3 came out in 2013, I believe. No, yes. And so that game was so popular, everyone got super excited for Cyberpunk 2077, which then again added to the hype, and the developer was not given enough time to actually do their job. It's a lot.
So like, I'm not a gamer, but I somehow caught wind of this. That's how huge that it was when this game came out, and there was all these issues, and it had these big names attached, like Keanu Reeves, right? So it really sparked a lot of discussion about the gaming industry, with it even someone like me could catch wind of, and also like the pressure of this environment, crunch culture, which you mentioned. Did the industry learn anything from this? Is it still a part of it?
In some ways, if yes and no. Crunch is still like a part of the industry. There are still games that come out that are still buggy messes, and from Cyberpunk and I believe No Man's Sky, the game came out horrible and they fixed it later. I think that mentality has kind of stayed still, like, oh, we'll just release what we have, patch it up in a year or two, it'll be fine. Which that shouldn't be a standard, but it still happens, I think. And then also, some other studios, and especially like indie developers, have taken their time with projects and games. So I guess it's kind of like a split. So.
Okay, so characters. Talk to me about the characters in the game. Who do you love? Who do you hate? How do you feel about them?
I love all of the older men characters in the game.
Wow. Okay, we're going straight there.
Going straight to it. No, okay, not just that. There's a huge variety. The 4 main romanceable NPCs probably have the most like love and attention and quests and interactions. Unfortunately, none of the old men are. Well, actually, no. One of them is old, but you can't romance him as a female V. The main character V. They each go into like a different facet of the city. Like Panam, she's a nomad, so you go out in the Badlands with her all the time. There's car chases, stealing a giant mech tank, from a corporation, like in a heist. Judy, she's the member of the Mox, and so you do a lot of stuff within the city with her that have to do with like that gang, butting heads with other gangs. River Ward, he is part of the NCPD. He's a cop. But he actually has one of my most favorite quests in the game. His nephew is kidnapped, and you and him basically have to, go on this goose chase. What is it called? Goose chase?
Wild goose chase.
Wild goose chase, trying to find him and all these other teens that have gone missing. It's very dark, but very dark, very gut wrenching, very stressful. But and then Carrie Uridine, he's the other male romanceable NPC. He is actually one of Johnny Silverhand's old bandmates, and he's in his 80s, and he's still a hot mess. But they're all just so unique from each other, and you're always doing something different with each of them. And not just them, even the fixers where you get gigs from. They each, kind of like the gangs, they each kind of are a different minority and kind of represent a different district of the city.
You have to backtrack a little bit. because the concept, I don't know, the romanceable thing really gets me. And I just want you to talk to me about that for a little bit because, like, my brain still kind of can't wrap itself around, like, romance. I don't know.
Oh, you've never heard of the video game where we can romance household items.
Oh yeah.
There's how many? 200, 300?
It was a lot.
Talk to me like I'm 80. I basically am.
So romance in a game is kind of, it can be a hit or miss because you want, at least with me, I always want to have some kind of like connection further than just the normal, hey, let's do a quest together or something like that. And if it's especially a character that I really like, having romance as an option just like makes the game more enjoyable for me. It just makes it all the more exciting to play, I suppose. And then, you know, even when I'm not playing the game, I still talk about that romanceable character, especially with my sister. We like go back and forth all the time with the characters we love.
This is a thing.
What is the video game called that we were talking about with the white hair character, the red eyes, and you can romance the men?
Oh, Baldur's Gate 3?
No.
The
They're in Cyberpunk. What are their names? It's a white hair character. There's one that's really mean to you. They're like super 3D. They have one where
Love in Deep Space?
Yes.
Love in Deep Space. The gotcha mobile game where it's just 5 hot anime dudes.
and you romance them, and they all have different personalities.
Okay, real talk for both of you. Ever get a real crush on a video game character where you're like,
Absolutely.
Okay.
My first crush was an anime character.
I have a list. I'm not going to bring it out, but yeah, I've got a list of video game.
Those are those.
I've seen the list.
I'm not
you did a quick scroll, or it was just like this, and it was just like.
Those are the ones that you see on the cake. Is like, hear me out. Just hear me out.
Yes.
I know about it. Hear me out, but like it's new to me. Having feelings for a drawing,
A fictional
thing that's
pixelated person.
Yeah, because I understand having a crush on like Keanu Reeves. Like I have eyeballs, but Keanu Reeves as was it Johnny Silverhand?
Johnny Silverhand,
which is
rocker boy and terrorist. Yes.
The fact that the name is so on the nose and like just completely, it's like they didn't even try. He's like Johnny Silverhand.
He's from the original tabletop role-playing game.
Okay, well, I guess that's
the video game is based off of.
Okay.
Fun fact: he was also born in College Station in Texas, like the character.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a fun little thing. I wrote it down.
So romanceable characters, and it's a thing, and having crushes on video game characters is a thing.
And especially the ones that aren't romanceable, like me.
Okay, name one character.
This guy, Goro Takemura, in the game. He's the bodyguard of Saburo Arasaka, who's the
bodyguard trope.
He's the guy in charge of the Arasaka Corporation. This guy there's just something about him, and you can't romance him. But that doesn't stop people online, with, fan art, fanfics, like just gushing over him. And on Valentine's Day recently, CD Projekt Red made a post, like a Valentine's post with Takemura.
They know.
They know about his dedicated fans.
The fact that they've seen our fan arts and fanfics and...
It's crazy.
It's insane.
There's some people on Tumblr who do that post just like photography in the game, and it's all just like photos of their really pretty, female V just making out with Takemura. Like there's dedicated Tumblr pages to that.
Let's actually talk about the fandom a little bit.
Okay.
Because I want to talk really briefly about like you going into the game industry as a woman, but I want to talk a little bit about the fandom. Mm-hmm. The Cyberpunk 2077 fandom. Who are they? Where are they online? I know you said Tumblr. Is that their main place? What are they like?
Yeah. So from what I gathered, a lot of them initially were The Witcher 3 fans because that was the previous big game of the company. And so they were the ones that kind of were causing the hype and the pressure for Cyberpunk 2077's release. But since then, I think it's grown, especially with the Netflix show Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I think a lot came from that. The DLC probably also brought in some more people. The game got a lot more attention like 2022, 2023 when that show and the DLC came out. So I think it's a mix of the original fans, the normal gamers, but now it's also, like the people on Tumblr with the fan art, everything, the more artistic stuff. It's a mix. And I mostly just look at the artistic stuff on Tumblr. I don't really look anywhere else, but I'm sure you can find angry rants on Reddit or whatever. But I don't want
Do you? Because that's what they said in Kyle. Do you participate?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, not. I mean, I'll like posts, I'll read fanfic, I'll share a ton of stuff with my sister so much that she gets overwhelmed. But I don't really
Participate in the conversation?
Not until recently. I never really left comments or things like that. I am doing it more now though. With my current obsession, which is a show called The Terror, I've been leaving more comments and things on Tumblr with fan art. There's a bracket competition that someone's doing with the characters, and I've been participating in that. I don't know. It stems from my not fear. I just don't like the idea of talking to total strangers online. I don't know. That's something I've always thought. Just don't do it.
Probably smart.
So, but I'm slowly trying to kind of engage more with what I like.
Do you create anything? Do you create fan art, fanfic,
Yes.
anything like that?
Just mostly fan art.
Yeah.
I have some Cyberpunk fan art, but it's mostly just doodles and sketches.
Which you're
Insert
totally
doodle here.
gonna share, and we're gonna show with this episode, right?
Sure.
We're gonna insert it right here in the edit.
I have been making more stickers with the terror stuff that I've
What's
been...
the terror? Is that a different? Is that related to this? Or is it
No,
different
but it's something that I'm currently doing, actually participating in.
that's cool.
So,
Is there any frustrations within the Cyberpunk thing? Do the fans argue about anything? Or, because like you said, in the beginning, there was issues about it coming out and all that jazz.
when it first came out, there definitely was a lot more hostility and anger from fans.
Towards the gaming?
The
company?
Glitches and all.
Yeah,
of
the release of the game, it was unfinished, it was buggy. The cars in the game would just freak out all over the place. It wasn't unplayable, it was just a hot mess that clearly wasn't ready to release. And fans had been waiting about 5 years for the game to come out. So there was a lot of disappointment and anger and review bombing of the employees of the company and things like that.
Yo, people were mad at Keanu.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
What? Why?
I don't know.
All he is a...
It definitely trickled down to him. They're like, "What way to get involved with a game that sucks, Keanu?" It's the only time in my life I've seen anyone mad at him.
Yeah, he's what do they call him? The internet angel, or from what I saw, he can
do no wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He can do no
gamers.
wrong.
It even trickled down. He got some trickle down.
Some
wow.
gamers are just angry to be angry.
True.
Unfortunately,
And also 5 years. I mean, I guess my question would be what made them release it anyway, even though it was bad? Wait another year? I don't know. At that point,
there was a announcement in 2018, a due date. No, the due date was announced in 2019, and I believe that was the upper management made that decision. The developers didn't have any control over it. So once the due date was announced, they had to get something done. And then it got pushed back 3 times, and then COVID hit, and that caused the third pushback. And then it released end of 2020, December 10th. Yeah. So they probably would have taken their time. They've taken their time with like their previous games, but because of the,
All the setbacks.
that first announcement, like, hey, it's gonna happen next year, they couldn't really push it back anymore.
So
I
the money
believe.
guys at the top making decisions
Yeah.
that the artists had no say in, probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like always.
Yeah. You're a female. I don't know if you knew that. And you are a gamer and a creator. So I kind of want to talk about, and things have changed a lot in the past, several years since like Gamergate, etc. But I want to know. But I still watch, like reels and TikToks of like girls playing games, especially like first person shooters online with dudes, and it's still like very hostile.
Make me a sandwich.
Yeah,
Get out of
exactly.
here. I see those too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're terrible.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering like what your experience has been like as a gamer girl. I hate that. I know you don't play like online a lot, but I just want to know like your experience in general, and then like what it feels like to go into the industry as a creator in a field that's still very male dominated.
I don't play a lot of competitive, online stuff. But when I do play with other people, it is mostly guys. There's been another girl once or twice. I don't really think about it, but I think now that I'm this close to graduating and, having to find a job, it's been on my mind a bit more often. I think because I don't play with strangers, I don't deal with, random men yelling at me for simply being a girl. Sorry.
Do you network with anybody within the industry yet?
Not yet. I have been making a lot more friends with other designers who are girls, and just kind of everyone who's. I've been making friends with people in the Narrative Lab by Dr. Evans, and there's a lot more girls there, and it's been really nice, talking to them and networking and making new connections.
So what is your overall feeling as you're preparing to start? Like, you're going to graduate in a few months. By the time this comes out, it'll be like very soon. And then you're going to be looking for jobs. Like, how do you feel about going into the industry? What is your overall like gut feeling about it?
I feel mostly dread right now.
Yeah.
Because it's just a lot mentally, and also with my classes, there's a lot on my plate right now. So every time I think about it, I just go, oh no. But I know, once I do finally find a job, that dread will go away.
Are you looking here? Are there studios here?
There's graphic design jobs that pop up here and there, but
Yeah.
it's not
And like
anything
game
in the
industry?
video.
There's a couple of like independent companies I've seen, but I haven't seen any like specifically yet.
I do have a question. Because you are, I guess, a female or a woman gamer, is that going to affect the way you do video games when you make them? Do you think that there's some things that you notice that you see as a woman gamer that you want to start putting in the video games that you want to do?
Yeah. I know. I guess it doesn't really matter with like environment design, but like with stories and characters, if I ever get a say in that, not sexualize every female character just because.
Oh, like the female armor. Oh,
I'm thinking like League of Legends.
Oh.
Where all the female characters have like same face syndrome, and like their prettiness and their beauty is more important than like actually telling a story through their characters design and whatever. So that's something I have thought about, like, make stories and write women that are more than just, looking pretty and all that. So,
And like on a similar note, do you think that being a woman makes you look for a certain kind of culture when you're out there looking for your first job in the industry? Like, is that something that you're thinking about?
yeah, I don't think I'd want to go to a studio that has like a frat boy culture
Right.
and all men. And well, I mean, that's going to be hard to do. It is still mostly a male dominated industry, but I'd like to, go somewhere that won't be so hostile, I guess.
Yeah. Are you considering moving out of Texas?
I'd like to stay here if possible. Unfortunately, the two states with from what I've been told, it might have changed. It has been a couple semesters since I was told this, but it's either Texas or California for video game,
Like for everything else.
for video game industries. And I'd like to stay in Texas if possible, but that might change based off of things.
I had a couple of other questions just really quickly. Let's do this one.
We got 10 minutes.
Okay, good. This one I thought was interesting. We might have to fit it elsewhere, but
Okay.
something that people maybe misunderstand about game design. Is there something that you think people misunderstand about it that you didn't realize yourself until you studied it?
It takes a lot of people, or it can take a lot of people, and a lot of time. Probably more on the time thing. It took not 5. It took. Let me do the math again. It took Cyberpunk 2077 8 years to come out.
Yeah.
Recently, Hollow Knight Silk Song took 7 years, I believe. One of my favorite games, Last Guardian, took 10 years.
With how many people working on it?
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077 and The Last Guardian were big companies. Silk Song is an indie company. But, it takes time. And I think people, I think now people are more patient with the release of constant bad games coming out. People have gotten a little bit more chill about waiting. But,
You're making a world.
yeah. It takes time. You gotta the pre-production, the actual production, post-production, the entire pipeline of development. There's so many different jobs and things you need to consider. It's a lot. I've learned a lot in my classes just how much it takes into making something on that scale.
Yeah.
You know?
If you want to describe some of the stuff that you want to do, that you do in class, how long does it take you to just make, because I know you were making a donut or something on the table. How long did it take you to just make a donut on a table?
So 3D modeling and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it's gotten a bit easier now that I've taken a couple modeling classes, but initially, it would take a couple weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Just for something simple, right?
Yeah. But I know in virtual environments 2 and modeling and texturing 2, I had about 4 weeks to make the final project, and I was able to get those done. But it's a lot. In 4 weeks, that's not enough time. It's possible, but it's not fun.
Just to make the environment itself a small room, it takes that long.
In the first virtual environments game, we took the entire semester to build one environment, a cyberpunk alleyway. The first few weeks was block out, and then the modeling, and then UVing, texturing, throwing everything into Unreal Engine. That took the entirety of the semester to do.
Just an alleyway.
Just one alleyway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
For someone who's interested in maybe doing this, I would like for you to tell them what they should be working on, what skills mattered most for you, whether it was technical tools or just being an awesome artist or being really good at collaboration or storytelling, and just what advice would you give them?
I think it's a mix of the artistic and technical, because that's what all the classes I've taken, that's what, making a game is basically. You need to know, the technical programs, that side of it, but you also need to have creativity and a want to tell a story. So for me, it's a mix of both of those. I'm a very artistic person. I've had to learn all the technical stuff through my classes here. Collaborating is a big part, working with others, because it's very hard making a game to Cyberpunk scale with just one person and also just wanting to learn more than just what's offered in class. Taking the time outside to hone your skills, learn the newest things every time Unreal or Unity is updated, every time there's a new program or something is announced, like always being on top of the news and like wanting to grow your skills. You can't just learn once and be done. Things are always changing in the gaming industry. There's always something new happening, especially with AI. So yeah, a mix of artistic and technical and just having that drive to learn, and also still like still playing games beyond what you want to do, like always being inspired by what's been made and what's currently happening. So
Great answer. Okay. The fannISh 5.
Dun, 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 dun.
These are 5 questions that we ask all of our guests.
okay.
And you just answer them right off the top of your head.
I'm
Don't
ready.
think too hard. You ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Question number 1.
Oh boy.
What was your first fandom?
Oh gosh. Probably. Oh gosh. Probably Star Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Especially when the sequels came out, like me and my sister were really like excited and got into it. And she was more, at that point, I wasn't on Tumblr or online or anything, but through my sister, I like read some fanfic and saw some really good fan art. She would get me little keychains of Rey and Kylo Ren because we shipped them. I'm not going to deny it. So like through her, that was kind of like where I first started getting into like fandom stuff. So thanks, Becca. I love you.
Interesting. It's so interesting because like when I was a kid and the first ones came out, because I saw at least one of the original ones in the theater. I was very, very little, like barely have a memory of it. But there was no such thing as Tumblr. There was no such thing as fanfic. It was like your parents took you to the movies to see them, and then you just had to like pretend like the wooden spoon from the kitchen was a lightsaber for the next 3 years, until the next one came out. Or if you were rolling in some dough, you would get to go to the movie rental store and rent a VCR and the VHS, and then take it home and watch it.
Yeah.
So different times.
I've kind of grown out of the sequels. I do appreciate the originals more now, but I won't deny that it was the sequels that, kind of introduced me to
That's okay. I'll allow
fans.
it. So what is your comfort media? And this could be a game, a book, a genre, a whole genre. Like I like to watch TV, whatever. Like when you just want to like relax and be cozy. What is your media?
Probably cozy games.
Cozy games,
Yeah.
like
One of my all-time favorite games, it's also cozy, is My Time at Sandrock. I have almost 800 hours in that game.
what is it?
It's like Stardew Valley. No, so it's post-apocalyptic meets Western town, like out in the wild meets you are basically trying to revive this town as a builder.
Does
I'll
not
put a
sound
picture up
cozy. It sounds so stressful. That's pressure.
I think the art style and like the music is kind of what makes it cozy. The story is amazing. The writing is hilarious. It is such a good game. And I haven't played it recently, but I honestly might.
You have 800 hours.
I have got, yeah. And the sequel is currently being developed.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's been on my mind a little bit more often. The My Time at Evershine is the name of the sequel. So
Okay, I learned something new. So, if you could spend a day inside any fictional world besides Night City, obviously, what would it be?
definitely not Night City. No. Probably, I just thought of Narnia immediately in my head. I was like, Lord of the Rings. No, Narnia. Probably one of those two.
Okay, yeah. I would 100% choose Middle Earth. Mm-hmm. I need to go to Rivendell.
I've been itching to do a rewatch of the trilogy. So, yeah.
Middle Earth for me. Mm-hmm. Rivendell. I want to party with some hobbits, some elves. Okay, Gandalf, who seems like he could party. What is a fandom that you really just don't get?
I don't get. Oh no, that's more the game.
I mean, it can be the thing too.
Yeah, so when I lived back in Lubbock, when I was first like starting to game more, I had a friend who tried to get me into Destiny 2, and it's a multiplayer online game, and I just couldn't get into it. And the way he played it was a little bit too much for me too. He was a lot more competitive. That's not necessarily a fandom; it's more just the game. But
Does it have a big fandom?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
My goal is for you to give an answer that people are going to watch it and be like, what are you talking about? Destiny 2 is awesome.
I don't get, I guess, like sports fans either.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to not either.
Yeah.
I got converted on that a little bit. Last question, and one of my favorites. What has been, as a fan, your cringiest moment? And I already know you've got some good ones.
Oh, gosh.
And it can be a private moment. It doesn't have to be anything public.
There was...
Is it the older men?
No, this is actually a younger man. No, so back in, it had to be middle school. I loved the movie Hook. And I
love that movie.
I had a major crush on Rufio.
Rufio.
And I literally wrote this, like, short story where after he died, they were, like, trying to get him buried, and his sister showed up. Like...
You know what?
And I drew him on the cover of one of my sketchbooks. I was so obsessed with him and his little red mohawk and like
Rufio. Oh,
yeah. That's one of my more embarrassing
that is
like
amazing.
crushes.
You have to show me this.
I don't
Rufio and his sister shows up.
I don't think I have the story anymore. I've written it out on paper and it's been years.
It's like, I wish I had a dad like you.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
But next time, put it on AO3.
No, I can't write fanfic. My writing's not as strong as my drawing. But I do want to start posting some fan art a little bit more right now, but definitely not
Writing? Oh, no, I was up there in middle school writing fanfics.
I can't wait to tell my brothers about this because we loved Hook. And Rufio was pretty hot.
He was! I won't deny it.
I was like, what, maybe 11 or 12 when that movie came out. So I was right in that age range, you know what I mean? I was like, dang, okay.
I see.
Rufio. Okay, well, thank you, Erin, for this amazing interview on Cyberpunk 2077. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, can you turn it off?